Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
"240 years ago today, we declared our independence, and today we celebrate that. Happy July 4th, everybody. It is time for baseball, as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Today, it's the New York Yankees against the Chicago White Sox in the first game of a three-game set from U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, Illinois. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with John Flaherty and Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Kay. The road trip didn't start while the Yankees lost the first two games against the Padres, but they bounced back in the final game with a 6-3 victory yesterday, and they used the long ball to do it.
They did. The fireworks started early for the Yankees in San Diego yesterday afternoon. Fourth inning, Didi Gregorius with a line shot into the seats. That puts the Yankees ahead 2-1. They weren't finished with the home run ball. Mark Teixeira with a milestone. The 400th home run of his career gets to the seats, almost to the same spot as Didi's home run, and Teixeira was not finished as well. Very next inning, a two-run shot, no doubter here. Way back in right center field, 2 home runs for Teixeira, 3 runs batted in. Yankees win 6-3.
And that was yesterday. Let's take a look now at today's pitching matchup, brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. James Shields, who came over from the Padres in a deal, will get the start for the White Sox. And for the Yankees, it's CC Sabathia. And John, if you look at his line from the last game, it's a lot worse than he actually pitched.
Well, you're right, Michael. And if you think back to that last outing against the Rangers, the right ankle was the big question mark. In the first inning, it didn't look real stable as Adrian Beltre drills a home run the other way. The Rangers up early. But Sabathia settled down. The good cutter, the good changeup, actually had an outstanding middle of this ball game. Things got away from him a little bit in the 8th inning defensively, but you're right, he threw the ball a whole lot better than the numbers would indicate.
Now, the home run that John showed you, that's unusual because CC usually doesn't do this. This is the lowest home runs per 9 innings in baseball. The first 4 pitchers on that list, all National Leaguers, and there's Sabathia, who allows .47 home runs per 9 innings, so he does keep it in the park. Chad Green had a great game yesterday, so good that he is in the rotation, and Nathan Eovaldi is in the bullpen. Why? Meredith Marakovitz will tell you when we get back right here on Yes.
Welcome back to Yankees Baseball on Yes. I'm Meredith Marakovitz. The Yankees rotation is going to look a little bit different, at least in the short term. Nathan Eovaldi has been moved to the bullpen. Chad Green will make another start on Friday. Joe Girardi was on hand to explain that decision earlier today.
We don't have Betances or Miller. We felt that he could do that for us. You know, Nathan struggled for this month. We're trying to get him straightened out, and we figure let's get him straightened out, you know, down there for now, and he can really help us too. He'll get straightened out. I'm not worried about. You know, Nathan's got good stuff, and I think he could really help us, you know, if we need him today. I envision Nathan as a starter. This is not something that we're saying is long term. It's just we kind of have a need right now. I know he wants to start, and he's going to start again. I mean, that's how I envision him. But right now, we need some help down there.
Nathan Eovaldi said in the clubhouse just a short while ago he is willing to do anything to help this team win, but added he sees himself as a starter, and the Yankees believe long-term Eovaldi will be in that rotation. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by Ken Singleton and John Flaherty after the break.
Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. By the New York Lottery, take a break from the expected, play scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. And by Heineken, open your world. Some of the sights and sounds of July 4th here in Chicago. A lot of stars and stripes all over the place, including on the hats of both teams. Special July 4th uniforms. Military personnel out with the players, which is kind of neat, as we honor those that keep us safe day in and day out around the world. So James Shields is on the mound, about to take his warm-up tosses, and we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. The center fielder is Jacoby Ellsbury. He'll lead off, batting second and playing left field, Brett Gardner. The DH is Carlos Beltran. He'll bat third. Cleaning up the catcher, Brian McCann. Starlin Castro at second base bats fifth. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, Didi Gregorius. Chase Headley, the third baseman, bats seventh. Batting eighth, playing right field, Aaron Hicks. And the first baseman is Rob Refsnyder, batting ninth.
Well, Joe Girardi sends out that lineup to go against a veteran James Shields in the middle of his warm-up tosses, and we will look at his numbers on the year, and they are not pretty. 3-9, 5.85 ERA, and we're going to check out our pitcher scouting report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. First four outings with the Chicago White Sox were not good. 7 earned runs, 6 earned runs, 8 earned runs, and then finally 3 earned runs, but he got on the board. His last outing against Minnesota, 6 2/3, 1 earned run, his first win as a White Sox. And I think a big reason why the velocity between his changeup and fastball, the separation, only 7 miles an hour. That is not good enough. We all know the changeup is his best pitch. Maybe a little more separation would help him out.
Why don't we take a look at the White Sox defense, which is presented by Geico. You've got Cabrera in left, Eaton in center, and Jason Coates over in right. Infield, Frazier, Anderson, Laurie, and Abreu. Third to first, Deanna Navarro is behind the plate, and John told you about James Shields on the mound. This White Sox team has won its last 4 series in a row after having a really tough stretch, and they're 2 games back of a wild card spot. Yankees are 40-41. The White Sox are 42-40. Jacoby Ellsbury is ready. James Shields is ready. And let's do it here in Chicago. First pitch is a strike. We're underway. Bill Welke's the home plate ump. Marvin Hudson at first. Vic Carapazza at second. And DJ Rayburn is over at third.
Interesting note between these two teams. The Yankees have actually won 4 years in a row on the 4th of July. There's only one team that's done better. That's the Chicago White Sox. They've won 6 in a row on the 4th of July. Something's got to give today.
1-1. 2-1. Well, the last time these two teams played on the 4th of July, I have to go back to 1995. And the Yankees won that game by a score of 4-1. And what makes that game somewhat memorable is that Mariano Rivera pitched 8 shutout innings as the starter. And the White Sox were really upset at their advanced scouts, who said the guy didn't have much of a fastball. He just overpowered them that day. Strike 3, Ellsbury down on strikes.
Looked like a backdoor breaking ball that hit the outside corner. Ellsbury caught looking. Flash had mentioned in his scouting report that maybe the fastball and changeup, there's not as much discrepancy as there used to be in the speed. Shields is a veteran. He's thrown a lot of pitches over the year, and sometimes your fastball doesn't have quite the electricity that it had in the past, and maybe he has to slow down his changeup to be more effective.
Here's Brett Gardner. Frazier in on the grass at third. Now, Don Cooper, the longtime pitching coach of the White Sox, had a conversation with Shields. You cannot fall behind in the count. You can win with the stuff you have, but you have to be aggressive and you have to pound the zone, and then your changeup becomes more effective.
You know, when I heard that, Michael, I thought back to Mike Mussina when he was with the Yankees and he lost all that velocity. And Dave Island was then the pitching coach, and he said, not only do you have to be more aggressive, but you have to pitch inside more to make your off-speed pitches a little more effective. We'll see if Shields kind of making that transition.
We were talking to Steve Stone, former Cy Young Award winner, who does the games for the White Sox on TV, and he said he falls behind 2-0. You're going to spit on that change. So you just sit on a fastball that's not as good as it used to be, and he gets punished. Grounded to third, backhanded by Frazier. 2-0.
Yeah, you mentioned Steve Stone, Cy Young Award year. I was his teammate that year. He was unbelievable, 25-7. But he had a good bullpen behind him. They didn't blow any one of his leads until his last start. He could have been 26-7.
Although you mentioned to me your lineup went out there and he'd be up 5-0 right away, wouldn't he?
Well, on the road, when we were on the road, it seemed like we scored plenty of runs for him in the first inning. By the time he hit the mound, it was 5-0. You have a good year.
Here's Carlos Beltran. He's having a good year. 298, 19 homers, and 53 runs batted in. The pitch outside, 1-0.
Yeah, the Yankees really missed Carlos in San Diego. Couldn't, no DH. Couldn't play the outfield with that sore hamstring. He did pinch hit once and hit a double.
Fly ball, center field. Eaton is there, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for James Shields as the Yankees go down in order. It's the Yankees nothing, and the Chicago White Sox come to bat. 7 pitches against James Shields, and now CC Sabathia will take his turn against this starting lineup. The shortstop is Tim Anderson. He leads off. Batting second and playing center field is Adam Eaton. The first baseman, Jose Abreu, hits third. Cleaning up third baseman, Todd Frazier. Melky Cabrera in left field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing second base, Brett Laurie. Diana Navarro, the catcher, will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the DH, Abasael Garcia. And Jason Coates, the right fielder, will bat ninth.
That lineup for the White Sox, going to get a good look at CC Sabathia finishing up his warm-up tosses. The numbers on the year, 5-5, 3.17 ERA. And we're going to look at our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. He gets an extra day. Joe Girardi did not want him hitting or running in San Diego, the National League city, because of that ankle. And we already talked about it. Better than the numbers as last time. 7 innings, 6 earned runs. But went out for the 8th inning, had a couple of double play balls. Defense let him down a little bit. And he's 19-5 all time against the Chicago White Sox. The only pitcher with a better winning percentage, Dave Steve, 21-5 against the White Sox. So it should be a good matchup, or it has been a good matchup in the past.
Now, the Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the White Sox at the stadium earlier this year. So this is the first time they'll meet in Chicago, and it's a little bit of a different look White Sox. Jimmy Rollins has been let go, and here's Tim Anderson playing shortstop and leading off. He does not get on base via the walk. He can hit, though, but he's walked just once. He has a 300 batting average, so his batting average is essentially his on-base percentage.
Yeah, his on-base percentage at 307. He's more of the leadoff type of hitter like George Springer or Ian Kinsler. They're not looking to walk. They're swinging it back. Anderson's a former #1 draft pick, 2013. And the day that he drew his lone walk, he's been to the plate 100 times. He's got 100 at-bats. The White Sox gave him an ovation from the dugout.
1-1. There's a strike. 1-2.
Well, anytime you have a young player and you have not seen him, it's kind of a feeling out process. And right away I look at Anderson with that open stance, and it would tell me the cutter in on the hands would be a good pitch from Sabathia. Wide open, and then he closes off. We'll see if they go to that during this ballgame.
There it is.
Soft ground ball. CC does not cover first, and Anderson beats Refsnyder to the bag.
Well, you see part of the game that Anderson brings to the big leagues with him. He can really run. And he gets jammed. CC does not cover, and Refsnyder too far off the bat. So that's going to go as an infield single, and right away the White Sox are in business. The thing about Anderson, too, he's played 22 games in the big leagues. 11 of them are multi-hit games. So he's up there slashing. That was a good cutter, though.
Good cutter in the hands, beat him, and he gets an infield hit.
Here's Adam Eaton. And he tries a push bunt toward third, a foul ball. Eaton, in 14 games against the Yankees lifetime, hitting .446, and he scored 10 runs.
I want to go back to that ground ball, though. I mean, Sabathia doesn't even make an attempt to cover. Refsnyder, the Yankees defensively, had him playing way over. So, I mean, it wasn't his fault to go too far. It's really all on Sabathia not covering first base.
He made the spin move, but didn't get off the mound. I don't think he would have beaten Anderson to the bag anyway.
Another look at it.
Here's another look, as Flash was saying. There's the, almost halfway to second base where Refsnyder fielded the ball, so he really had no chance either of getting Anderson.
Speaking of infield hits, Eaton has 20 of them. That's first in the American League. He's got 7 triples. That's first. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, this is the White Sox version of Ellsbury and Gardner. The first 2 guys in their order can really, really run.
Yankees have, the White Sox have had 9 stolen bases in their last 6 games. And they just came from Houston, where they won 2 of 3 from the Astros. Tries to bunt with 2 strikes, bunts foul. That's a strikeout.
That shows he has confidence in his ability to bunt. And he couldn't get it down. He had Headley back at third base, and he was thinking of another bunt single. How many did you say you had, Michael? Was it 7?
That was 7 triples.
No, 7 triples. Yeah. But the fact that he's a good bunter, Has confidence in his ability to get the ball down. Didn't happen here, and that goes as a strikeout. It's kind of a gift.
Here's Abreu. White Sox 9-4 over the last 13 games, averaging about 5 runs a game. 279 batting average, 21 home runs, and a 3.91 ERA.
Offensively picking it up a little bit. When you look at the numbers, you're kind of surprised where they rank offensively. You would assume they'd be a little bit better.
We get into the White Sox. They kind of had an up and down year. I mean, they started out gangbusters, and the way the Cubs were playing on the north side of Chicago, they were talking about an all Chicago World Series. You know, White Sox got off 23-10 under Robin Ventura, but then the next 36 games they lost 26 of them, so they kind of plummeted to earth, so to speak.
Fly ball right field. Hicks is there. 2 away. As what Kenny was talking about, 23-10 dips to 10-26, and now trying to right the ship at 9-4 over the last 13 games.
That last pitch looked like another cutter that got in on Abreu. Abreu hits the ball very well to the opposite field and right center for a right-handed hitter.
Here's Todd Frazier, 23 home runs, 16 of them solo shots. He is the defending home run derby champion. And he has said over and over he would love to defend it this year, his title in San Diego, but he's obviously not going to make the All-Star team with a 204 batting average.
Does that mean you get an automatic bid the next year if you're the defending champ?
No, but there have been players that didn't make the All-Star game that did appear in the home run derby.
I would think you would have to be able to go defend your crown, right?
Yeah, an automatic bid.
Sure.
Yeah.
He said it would be a lot more fun this year to defend his title. He said last year in Cincinnati, he was the team's ambassador, so he really had to show the city off and kind of be the guide for everybody. He said, here, I just come in, do the home run derby, and leave. So a 3-0 count on Frazier. There's a strike.
Well, I will attest to having just been in San Diego, the ball is really flying. The Yankees hit 3 home runs yesterday. It's the 11th time they hit 3 home runs in a game, but only the 2nd time they did it on the road.
Frazier walks. Why don't we check out the Yankee defense behind Sabathia? You've got Gardner, Ellsbury, and Hicks left to right in the outfield. Infield Headley, Gregorius, Castro, and Refsnyder third to first. McCann's behind the plate. And Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound. And that brings up Melky, who's missed 5 games with a sprained right wrist, so back in the lineup today. Strike.
He injured the wrist swinging the bat. And Melky's having himself a decent year, just under 300 with 8 homers and 39 runs batted in.
I think back to Sabathia in his last game against the Texas Rangers, and everybody was wondering how that right ankle would hold up. And in that first inning in that game, I thought CC may be a little tentative. All of a sudden, he gained some confidence that it wasn't going to be a problem. Really threw the ball well. Girardi giving him the extra day, not hitting in a National League park. Probably isn't even a conversation anymore.
Popped up. Refsnyder there, makes a play, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Let's go to the second. 0-0 here on Yes. Time for today's conversation, which is brought to you by Toyota. RAV4 Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. What did you think of MLB having Miami and Atlanta play at Fort Bragg on Sunday? Well, Beth Wellington said, I think it's a great tribute to our military whose bravery allows us to enjoy such things as baseball. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees RAV4 Hybrid. Keep the conversation going. It looked great on TV. It looked like it was a wonderful event.
Looked like everybody was having a great time. I was amazed at how good the field looked, the playing surface.
Brian McCann swings at the first pitch and lofts it to center field. Eaton back on the track.
Wow.
Makes the play.
Look up at the flags here. It looks like the wind is blowing from left to right, but McCann gave that one a charge. Almost 400 feet straightaway center. Eaton drifting back, as you can see, it makes the catch. Yeah, they put that ballpark up in 4 months, I believe. I heard.
Sure what Mattingly said? Mattingly, who's the manager of the Marlins, said, I played in front of sellout crowds at Yankee Stadium. I played in the playoffs, and this is the greatest atmosphere I've ever been in.
Good for him, yeah.
Castro takes a strike. Castro 0 for 11 against the Padres. Average at 246. It's an overcast day in Chicago, so the lights are on for this afternoon matchup. Nice crowd on hand at U.S. Cellular Field.
Now, earlier this year, when James Shields was with the Padres, he had a full-length beard. It looks like he's cut it back some.
Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 75 degrees, humidity is 70%, not much wind, and the forecast is for cloudy skies, and we're there right now. There's a base hit for Castro, his first of the road trip. A lot of baseball in Chicago today. As we speak, Reds are playing the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Castro's old team.
I was just thinking about Castro coming back to Chicago. Not a big deal, obviously, playing over here. If he was at Wrigley, it'd be a whole lot different.
Well, they do have the interleague play each year between the Cubs and the White Sox, so I'm sure these White Sox fans are aware of the fact that he played for the North Siders, and he got the response they were going to give him. Not much.
Gregorius fouls it back. Didi has a 7-game hitting streak, and he's going to have to be considered as a Yankee representative in the All-Star game. 291, 9 homers, 38 ribbies.
9 home runs equals the amount that he hit all of last season.
Last 21 games, he's 29 for 81. That's 358.
5 home runs, including that bullet he hit yesterday in San Diego.
There's a bullet to right field, but run down by Coates. 2 outs.
You know, Kenny, I watched Didi. Even when he's off balance, he still puts a good pass, hits it on the good part of the bat.
It seems like he keeps his hands back, and I think the thing that has really set him apart recently and into this season as opposed to last year, you see him pulling the ball here. I think he hits the ball much better to the opposite field, especially against left-handed pitching. And he hits the ball from line to line with authority now.
Here's Headley. They play in the pull. 3 infielders on the right side. Shields deals outside. Shields signed a 4-year deal with the Padres for $75 million. That was in February of 2015. June 4th of this year, he was traded for Eric Johnson and third baseman Fernando Tatis Jr. Johnson's a right-handed pitcher. As we mentioned, Tatis is a third baseman. $58 million is still owed to him. The White Sox only have to pay $27 million of it. That one's drilled deep to right field. There it goes. See ya! A bullet home run over the wall and right. A 2-run shot for Headley, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Well, Shields' reaction on the mound, the home run ball has been one of his problems this year. It looked like he tried to get in on Headley, and Headley was a little too quick for him. And for Chase Headley, this is going to be home run number 6. And man, he just turns, sit and spin, and got the good one on it. And as Michael called it, a line drive out of here to right field. Wind didn't affect that one at all.
Tell you what, you watch from the side right there and how his hands just took over. Got that front foot down nice and early. Sometimes you talk about pitchers leaving a ball out over the plate. Right there, that ball was a pretty good pitch, and Headley just beat him.
Hicks takes a strike from Shields. Hicks was 3 for 3 yesterday against San Diego. 0-2.
Shields, in his days with the Tampa Bay Rays, he was a real workhorse in their rotation. He and David Price.
Swing and a miss. Hicks down on strikes. But the Yankees get 2 runs on 2 hits. The Headley home run accounting for both runs. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Yanks up 2. He's up 2-0. It's time for the White Sox team scouting report, brought to you by Mohegan Sun. Unlimited possibilities await you at Mohegan Sun. Plan your trip at mohegansun.com.
Well, you guys already talked about the numbers for the White Sox. I'm going to do it a little differently. You remember the month of April, 17-8. White Sox off to a great start. And then you remember the month of May, 11-17. And when you think about this team, good pitching. They're 5th in the American League in pitching. Really good defense. 1st in the American League in fielding percentage, but bottom of the league offensively, and a big reason why they've been playing better lately, scoring a lot more runs and hitting some more home runs.
Brett Laurie, who's very active at the plate, likes to jump on the first pitch. He's ready to start the inning off. And he swings at the first pitch and lofts it to right field. Hicks is there. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Now, did he tell you he was going to swing the first pitch today?
You know what? I saw Brett Laurie before the game very early in the morning rocketing around the bowels of the stadium on a scooter, so I figured that he was going to swing at the first pitch.
He's an aggressive type of guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got the mouthpiece with the fangs on it. Here's Navarro, former Yankee. And a strike. You see both teams wearing special July 4th uniforms with red numbers. Stars on the caps. Navarro fouls it back. Yankees were none too happy about the schedule that had them playing in San Diego yesterday and then having a day game in Chicago when they got into the hotel about 1 in the morning. Down goes Navarro for the second out. And then Joe Girardi also said today, look at how many West Coast trips we're making. He said, when you go to the West Coast, you should hit every single city. You should be out there for 9-10 days, hit every single city. He said, we go back and forth to the West Coast. He said, but it's not only us. He said a lot of teams go through it.
Well, yeah, 3 different cities, 3 different time zones for the Yankees on this particular trip.
I was a little surprised the Yankees out on the field taking batting practice today. It was optional batting practice, but I thought this would have been a show up, put the uniform on, get a cup of coffee, and let's go get them.
Here's Garcia. Check swing.
Well, it's the home team that sets the times for the games. So the White Sox, obviously they want to play a day game on 4th of July, so everybody get home and fire up those barbecues.
Well, no one's going to cry a river for the Yankees on this, but I mean, Major League Baseball could step in and go, make the game at 4 o'clock. Well, out of fairness to the team that's coming. And the White Sox came in from Houston, which isn't as long a flight, obviously.
A few weeks ago when the Yankees were in Minnesota, remember the Twins had a night game in Anaheim and had to play the next night against the Yankees, and they got in at daybreak, 5:30 in the morning. So, like you said, Michael, it affects a lot of teams. But to me, what happens is you've got tired players on the field. They're traveling. I know they traveled well and all this sort of thing, but body clock and all that sort of thing. This is how injuries occur to me, not the proper amount of rest. And it applies to all the teams. And players will tell you the best places to play in the country as your home city, right in the middle of the country, like Chicago, St. Louis, or Kansas City.
And you can't blame what happened yesterday on Sunday Night Baseball. That's a 1 o'clock start in San Diego, but then you're playing in another time zone the next day in the afternoon.
2 different.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Strong inning for Sabathia. He does it on 9 pitches, strikes out 2. White Sox go down in order, and we'll go to the 3rd. July 4th has a lot of meaning in the Yankee organization. George Steinbrenner was born on this date in 1930. Lou Gehrig's famous luckiest man speech in 1939. Mickey hit his 300th home run in 1960. Dave Righetti, the no-hitter against the Red Sox in 1983. And Phil Niekro, a year later, picked up his 300th strikeout on this date while in a Yankee uniform. Also, it's John Sterling's birthday. Happy birthday, John. Also, Susan wears that vest all the time, the Star-Spangled Vest on July 4th. So all is right with the world.
Yeah, when the Yankees landed last night, everybody wished John a happy birthday. He said, well, it's not quite midnight in Chicago. There's 1 minute to go. Then Bill Bolin, our producer, said, what time zone were you born in? And he said, I was born in New York. Said, happy birthday.
John's all decked out in a seersucker jacket.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. Rush Snyder down on strikes.
This is what Don Cooper was talking about, the pitching coach for the White Sox. You get ahead in the count, diminish stuff, you're still going to get some swings and misses. It's that changeup right on right that has Ref Snyder fooled.
Yeah, get ahead, then expand the zone. Don Cooper's been around a long time.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, done a great job.
Waved at by Ellsbury.
Now Shields is to the point now where he doesn't strike out as many people as he used to because he threw harder. But he's one of those guys, when you take an over 4 and you think about it after the game, you say to yourself, how'd that happen? And it's because he's changing a lot of speeds, change-ups, breaking balls.
Ground ball to Anderson. 2 outs.
A little bit of a double dribble for Anderson there, but he makes the play. Shows a strong arm. Quick release, just kind of flipped it over there to first base with something on it. He's about the size of Jimmy Rollins at shortstop.
Here's Brett Gardner. He grounded out to Frazier in the first. Strike.
I just saw something that is so old school that we don't see a whole lot now. James Shields just looked at Anderson, the shortstop, and moved him over towards third base a little bit with Brett Gardner up at the plate. And we talk all the time, the shifting, the computer guys and all their analytics. There's an old school pitcher saying, I'm going to pitch him this way, you move over to that hole.
He's helping the young guy out.
Yeah, I love that.
Get in a lot of trouble on some teams if you do that.
Jim Palmer used to do that all the time to all the fielders. Move you around.
Grounds it to second. Rory's there, and that'll do it. A 9-pitch inning for James Shields as the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3, and we go to the bottom of the third. On Yes is brought to you in part by McDonald's. Download the McDonald's app today for exclusive offers and coupons. by People's United Bank NA, where know-how brings you Touch ID to your mobile device. And by Coors Light, whatever your mountain, climb on. Yankees lead 2-0 on the Headley 2-run home run. And that'll bring up Jason Coates against CC Sabathia here to start the bottom of the third. Not too many 29th round draft picks make it to the big leagues, and that's what Jason Coates was. In 2012 out of TCU as a junior at TCU. He was drafted in the 12th round by the Orioles, but he tore the ACL in his right knee senior season, and he lasted till the 29th round. Grounds that one up the middle, a base hit for Coates. Makes a big turn, he'll stop right there.
Yeah, that's his second major league hit. You mentioned out of TCU, he graduated with a degree in accounting, and if he plays really well at this level, that accounting degree is really going to help him.
Here's Tim Anderson. He had an infield hit, a ground ball to Refsnyder, where CC didn't cover first. That's how he started off the first inning. Hits one deep to center field, going back. Ellsbury looking up, see ya. A tie game, 2-run home run for Anderson, his 4th home run of the year. Well, he might not be the biggest guy in the world, but that ball just jumped off his bat.
That's in the neighborhood of 400 feet. In the minor leagues, we told you #1 draft pick. He hit well. He was a 300 hitter in the minors, very aggressive hitter. And that pitch was right there for the taking, and he got all of it.
Here's Adam Eaton, who tried to bunt a 2-strike pitch and fouled it off in the first inning. So he struck out. First pitch from Sabathia is a strike. So a couple of 2-run home runs. That's the scoring so far. Headley's 2-run home run. Anderson's 2-run home run. Anderson's only played in 23 games. He now has 12 multi-hit games in 23 games.
Wow. Maybe there is something to not drawing base on balls.
Swing and a miss. Eaton down on strikes. 1 away. That brings up Jose Abreu. Abreu with a fly ball right in the first inning. Boy, both teams swinging early in the count.
Like they have somewhere to go. Abreu, who has reached safely in 27 of his last 28 games, so he's been playing pretty well lately.
Grounded up the middle and booted by Gregorius. Fires to first, not in time. That'll be an E6 for the Yankee shortstop.
Well, Didi has just been so consistent that it surprises you when he has any trouble going up the middle. Doesn't come up with it clean. Still the strong, accurate throw.
Are the Yankees going to challenge? They thinking about it?
Joe just waved to the home plate umpire. Said we are not challenging.
All right. You know, a lot of times you feel that you can't get the call overturned. Too close.
So here's Todd Frazier. He walked in the first inning. Now Frazier's hitting .204 with 23 homers. And if he has a bad week, he has a chance to do something that has never been done before in the big leagues. He'd be the first player ever to hit 20 home runs before the All-Star break while batting less than 200.
Well, my immediate thought goes back to Rob Deere. He probably didn't hit 20 before the break, but he was one of those sluggers who hit 180, 190 with ended up with 28, 30 home runs at the end of the year.
I'm kind of surprised Dave Kingman didn't do it. Yeah, just big sluggers. They had one thing on their mind: separating the ball from the ballpark when they came up to the plate. Kingman played on the north side with the Cubs for quite a while. One thing every time I see a highlight of Frazier hitting a home run, it's something on the inner third. He's really quick inside. And every home run I've seen him hit, they've been pulled. And maybe that's one reason he can get fooled on off-speed stuff.
I was talking about Rob Deere in 1992 before the All-Star break. 21 home runs, but a .208 batting average. Just above the Mendoza line.
2-2.
It's not like he wasn't trying though, right?
That's right. So when I think back different organizations that I played for, and I got traded to the Detroit Tigers, they said, we don't care about your batting average. It's all about driving in runs and producing runs. You get to other organizations and they want that on-base percentage, that higher batting average.
Well, that helps set up your teammates in the lineup. I mean, if you're going up there and having an on-base percentage of barely over 200, I mean, if you don't produce in that very at-bat, you're not helping anybody.
A pretty good battle here against Sabathia. 3-2 count. We'll see who wins this battle.
This is going to be the 8th pitch of the battle. 3-2. Just missed outside. CC wanted that call. Frazier walks for the second time. So first and second with one out.
Went with the backdoor breaking ball and just off the corner. Milwaukee's lacking, and that means the White Sox put a couple men on.
Here's Melky. Fouled out to Refsnyder in the first inning. And there's a base hit to left field. Abreu will stop at third. He takes a base-to-base as Gardner fires into Headley, and the bases are loaded with one out.
Well, the error kind of opened a door, and now a walk followed that. Now the base hit. Joe McEwing, the third base coach, knowing the reputation of Brett Gardner, who threw a runner out the other day in San Diego, he's going to hold the runner at third. But now CC is going to face an aggressive hitter with the bases loaded, who's been pretty hot lately.
And you can see Abreu cruising into third base, what Kenny's talking about. Joe McEwing will hold him. You talk about Laurie, and you know what? You got to use his aggressiveness against him right here. If you can make a good pitch on the first pitch, try to get that ground ball. Look for the cutter in off the plate and the changeup down off the plate. See if you get an aggressive hitter to help you out a little bit. Hit a nice ground ball for you.
Jumps on the first pitch again and fouls it back to the screen.
Yeah, he's been hot lately, over 400 last 11 games. So
he just had a pitch to hammer right there and fouled it back. Sabathia got away with a cutter middle of the plate. Brian McCann set up off the plate in, or if you're going to go away, really give a good target off the plate. This guy will help you out.
So the count 0-2.
It all. Cutter middle of the plate, change up down and away, and a high fastball just to change the eye level.
And that was the first pitch that he's actually taken today. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout of Laurie by Sabathia. 2-away.
Well, you get ahead early with a hitter who likes to swing the bat, and then you just make a perfect pitch. Fastball dotted down and away. Good look at the side from the swing. He's a little bit late. Great job by Sabathia.
Boy, is he intense. Pitts and Navarro's upstairs.
Well, you go from a hitter that's been pretty hot at Laurie, got him out. Now he's going to another hitter who's kind of struggled lately in Navarro.
Foul back and out of play. Nice catch by a fan in the stands.
So he
1-2.
There's that cutter in on the hands. Navarro checking his bat as he should. Hitting that one right above the knuckles. This is a pitch, a cutter, and we saw it yesterday from Chad Green in San Diego. When he went down to the minor leagues, he worked on it, and he used it very well against the Padres yesterday. He did not have that pitch when he got sent back to the minors in that game that Michael and I did in Arizona. And flash.
Popped up, shallow right. Castro makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees score, or the White Sox score 2 runs, 3 hits, and the 2 runs come off the bat of Tim Anderson, a home run to dead center. White Sox leave the bases loaded. It's 2-2 as we go to the 4th. evenings presented by Mazda. Driving matters. Orioles 47-34 in first, 3 over the Red Sox, 3.5 over the Blue Jays, 7 over the Yankees, and 14 over the Rays. Carlos Beltran will lead off here in the 4th against James Shields. Now, Girardi had Beltran penciled in, and pencil being the operative word, because he said about an hour and a half before the game, still not sure, but he told me he felt okay. I want to talk to him again. So with Beltran only able to DH, that keeps A-Rod out of the lineup. Not as if a right-hander like Shields would overpower A-Rod, but A-Rod can't play the outfield. Hicks is playing right field, so as long as you have Beltran as a DH, A-Rod's out of luck.
Earlier this year, when A-Rod was on the disabled list, Beltran DH'd quite a bit. And to say the least, he did a very good job of it.
Now McCann drove Eaton all the way back just in front of the wall in center field his first time up. That was in the 2nd inning. Shields has 32 starts against the Yankees. That's tied with David Price for most amongst active pitchers. And he's 10-16 with a 4.15 against the Yankees. Now he's traded from Tampa Bay to Kansas City. One of the reasons that Kansas City made that deal, they wanted a veteran presence amongst their young pitchers. And he helped them get to the World Series, but that was the World Series they lost in 7 games to the Giants. Then he became a free agent. They didn't re-sign him. There's a base hit to right field for McCann. He signed with San Diego, and then Kansas City made the World Series again, this time beating the Mets in 5 games to win the World Championship.
Here we go. Shields again telling his shortstop where he wants him to play. It's just so refreshing for me to see it, because we talked all about the defensive shifts that are determined up in the front offices. It's nice to see a pitcher taking a little control.
Yeah, I had mentioned that Hall of Famer Jim Palmer, when I was playing, he used to move the outfielders. You stand out there, you're playing right field. I'm thinking, you pitch, I'll play the outfield. Yeah. And he used to move you, and one day he's waving at me. I just waved back at him. I don't think he appreciated it.
One to Castro, who singled in the 2nd inning, came around to score on Headley's homer.
You can hear Shields out there groaning after he delivers the pitch. And that was a changeup. Maybe he's trying to give false bravado to the hitter, thinking it's a fastball.
Ripped down the left field line. It's a base hit. It'll go up to the wall. McCann will stop at 3rd. It's a double for Castro. He's 2 for 2 against Shields.
And I'm noticing the 2nd time through this lineup, a lot better swings, and even more importantly, some takes against a changeup for the Yankees.
Maybe all Castro needed was to get to Chicago. He went 0 for 11 in San Diego, and now he's 2 for 2 in his former stomping grounds, albeit this is the south side of Chicago. But he rips this one into the corner down to the 330 side, and that means Melky's going to have to dig it out and get it back in. But the Yankees are in business here with 1 out in the 4th.
Here's Didi. They're in at 3rd and 1st, back at 2nd and short. with 1 out. It's a 2-2 game here in the 4th inning. A couple of 2-run home runs. One by Anderson and one by Headley. Beginning of a 3-game set, second city for the Yankees on this road trip. They finish up with 4 games against the Cleveland Indians in Cleveland. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Didi's actually second on a team and runs batted into Carlos Beltran. That shows you how hot he's been. Got a couple of more out there. As the Yankees attempt to break this tie here in the 4th.
Classic situational hitting right here, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Get a ball out over the plate. Most importantly, get it up and try to drive it to the middle of the field. You take your chances from there.
Ground ball to first. Abreu checks McCann back. Steps on the bag for the 2nd out.
From Shields' standpoint, this is what he wanted. He wanted to get him to roll over, maybe pull the ball towards the first baseman. Abreu was about even with the bag. And that's exactly what Didi does. A little bit of a tough hop. Abreu checking McCann at 3rd. Steps on the bag. Now there are 2 outs. And the Yankees going to need a hit here to get this run in. Unless there's a wild pitch or some other catastrophe for Shields.
I think if you're Chase Headley right here, you're probably going to get some pitches out over the plate. That home run was a fastball in. Chase got to it pretty easily. First base is open. Expect to see a lot of change-ups here, a lot of sinkers down and away.
McCann just got back.
That's got to be a set play, isn't it, Flash?
Oh, no doubt about it. You give Navarro a little bit of credit. If that ball is lower right on the bag, he probably has a play. See Frazier breaking. Navarro from his knees a little wide right. Still a close play.
He's pitching to Headley like he wants nothing to do with it.
Like he wants to pitch to Hicks.
Yeah.
Struck out Hicks in the 2nd.
You know, if I'm the Yankees, I'd turn him loose 3-0 here. But I'd look for something off speed. It wasn't, but it was still ball 4. That was a go down to first base. It was a unintentional intentional walk.
So Don Cooper will come out and talk with James Shields. Shields, I believe, has been saddled and judged unfairly by a nickname that was given to him in Tampa Bay when he first came up and I think won his first 4 decisions. And one of his teammates called him Big Game James. And he has not pitched all that well in a lot of the big games he's pitched in, and he gets a lot of derisive comments about that, but he didn't give himself the nickname, and it wasn't given to him because he had excelled in big games. He just kept winning games when he first came up, and they gave him that nickname because I guess it rhymes.
It rhymes, yeah.
But there's only one Big Game James, and that's James Worthy of the Lakers. So he's had to pitch up to a lofty nickname and hasn't really done it that well. Here's Aaron Hicks. One 1-0. Hicks struck out in the 2nd. We mentioned yesterday was 3 for 3 in San Diego. Really interesting story by Mark Cannizzaro of the Post yesterday, where he went golfing with Aaron Hicks, and Hicks told him that his father didn't want anything to do with Aaron playing baseball. It was Aaron who kind of forced the issue. Now Aaron looked up to Tiger Woods, and the father was trying to prepare him for golf like Tiger Woods' dad Earl had done with Tiger. But then Aaron found one of his dad's old bats in the garage and started swinging it, and then joined a little league team behind his dad's back. Fly ball, right field. Coates is there. He'll put it away for the final out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. He knew it wasn't going. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. One, and hit a fly ball to right field to leave the bases loaded. The outing scoreboard shows you 2-2. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be Garcia, Coates, and Anderson against CC. There's a strike. Yankees did let CC travel to Chicago earlier than they did, so he was in the hotel well before the Yankees got in. They usually do that with the next day's starting pitcher. Broken back, ground ball to first. Ref Snyder takes it himself, 1 away. Now we said on the open, and Meredith covered it, that Chad Green's going to stay in the rotation and pitch one of the games against the Indians. And Nathan Eovaldi is in the bullpen today. And Joe Girardi said he didn't have Miller, he didn't have Betances. And I asked him if, in fact, he had those, would that switch have been made? And he said no. So now you have Eovaldi, who has not pitched well of late. In fact, he's pitched poorly. He'd be the first to admit it, working out of the bullpen.
But didn't you get the sense, listening to Joe Girardi and then also hearing some of the comments of Larry Rothschild, that they're excited about him in the bullpen? Like they think his stuff will play up a little bit, and I think the thought of not having to go through a lineup a few times is going to help him.
Ground ball is short. Gregorius throws high and over the head of Ref Snyder. That is the second error in as many innings for Didi Gregorius.
Well, I mentioned it. You're surprised when he had a little trouble with a ground ball, and his throwing has been just so beautiful this year. Routine play, just airmails it. Didi having a tough day defensively.
They made 13 errors last year. Only 3 of them were throwing errors. So, yeah, it's a little unusual. He's got that strong arm, but this time he missed his receiver.
There's Tim Anderson, who had the 2-run home run just to the right of dead center in the third.
You know, with Eovaldi going back to the bullpen, as you mentioned, going to the bullpen, as you mentioned, Michael, the fact is that gives the Yankees another hard throw around the bullpen. I mean, if he knows he only has to work 1 or 2 innings, how hard can he get up there? I mean, and he's a guy who's been able to sustain that fastball going into the 7th and 8th inning of games.
Now, one thing Joe really wanted to amplify, he's going back in the rotation. He said we still look at him as a starter. This will be this way until the All-Star break, and then we'll decide then. And Joe was asked, well, would you think about using a 6-man? And before the words, no. He just does not want to use a 6-man rotation.
Well, again, this puts a lot of people on notice. Green had a good outing. He gets another opportunity.
There's a bunt, barehanded, and Headley makes the play on Anderson for the second out as Coates moves to third.
Nice play by Headley. He was in somewhat because Anderson can run very well. Anderson was going for his 3rd hit of the afternoon, and he's going to, after hitting a 400-foot home run, he was going to go to small ball.
Now, can you guys help me out? That scored a sacrifice bunt. Are you kidding me?
There's no way.
There's no way you're bunting with 1 out to move the guy to third.
He's already in scoring position.
That's a ridiculous scoring decision, but it's a sacrifice bunt as of this moment.
No, I've got it down 5-3. He was going for a hit.
Fouled away by Eaton.
What? Have the rules changed?
That's almost embarrassing.
Why would you sacrifice in the third with 2 outs?
By the way, the error by Didi, this is the first career multi-error game. The official score is Tim O'Driscoll. Oh, you're wrong. The 0-2, swing and a miss. Eaton has looked hapless against Sabathia with 3 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, 1 error and 1 man left. We go to the 5th. It's a 2-2 game. We'll hear from Bob a little bit later on. Here, the Cadillac scoreboard shows you 2-2 as Refsnyder will lead off against James Shields. And there's a strike. Shields' mom, her sister, is Aaron Rowan's mom, former outfielder. And when Shields was in the minor leagues, Rowan actually tore into him and said, "Are you kidding me?" He said, "You just can't get by on talent. You have to work harder than anybody else." And kind of snapped something into Shields, and Shields became a big league pitcher.
Aaron Rowan works in the White Sox front office now.
Line drive, right field. And it is caught by Coates. Right before it hit the grass. Took a hit away from Refsnyder.
Well, Flash, you were talking about the defensive ability of the Chicago White Sox, and Coates looks like he can cover some ground. Yeah, he made the play, got the glove underneath it before it hit the grass. Another look at it, sinking line drive off the bat of Rob Refsnyder. And Coates with a nice sliding catch in right field. Maybe a little grass stain on that right knee.
Ellsbury shows bunt.
Ellsbury, well, he's 0 for 2 today, but he came into today a career 500 hitter on the 4th of July. He got to celebrate. 13 for 26. Now he's 13 for 28.
Fly ball right field. This one easier for Coates.
Make that 9.
4 putouts for Coates so far, over 4 2/3. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. We have another catcher's interference for Jacoby Ellsbury.
I'm just amazed that this is continuing to happen. I mean, the advanced scouts around the league, it's just every catcher in all of baseball has to know that you just have to set up a little bit further behind.
This is the 8th time this year that Ellsbury has reached on catcher's interference.
It's incredible.
It's E2. His first at bat in San Diego the other night, he knocked off Derek Norris's glove. Just knocked his glove off. That goes as an error on the catcher.
Good quick throw, and Abreu has to go by him, stumbles, and then gets after it. Shields has a very good move to first base.
Kind of an elongated set, and then he fires over. Abreu scrambling, goes down and recovers.
Kenny and John, we noticed this at Yankee Stadium too. The way he's leading, he just goes off the bag so quickly. If the pitcher can time it, he's got his momentum, even if he's not going, moving towards second, and you make a quick throw. And that one gets by Abreu again. This time, Ellsbury will go to second, and he'll make it.
He's not happy. Let's see if this. That wasn't that bad a throw, was it?
It looks like Abreu is almost surprised. Look, he's nice and casual, not really ready for a throw, and it kind of sneaks up on him a little bit. That's a play he's got to make.
Yeah,
probably would have been out.
That's an E3. But we'll wait and see.
Well, they gave him a sacrifice bunt. Gardner swings and misses.
No, why not?
E1.
Really?
Huh.
He's right next door, Kenny, if you want to go in there.
That's a ball that should be caught. All right, I'll mark it. Let's take a look at this flash. What do you think?
It's an E3. Man has to make that play right there.
Yeah, it's the big leagues. .83 miles per hour on that last pitch.
I looked at the numbers this morning. It was about averaging 90 with the fastball and 83 with the changeup. And I mentioned 7 miles an hour, probably not the separation you want. You want it to be about 10 or 11. His fastball's been a little better today, though. There's 92, so you throw 83 and a changeup, 9 miles an hour, you can get away with that. We'll get some swings and misses with that separation.
One, two. Brett made his only All-Star game last year. He was 0 for 2 in that game. He's had an up and down season this year. Will not be heading to San Diego for the Midsummer Classic. Count 3-2 on Brett. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And the 3-2. Foul ball.
Brett had an RBI hit in the 9th inning yesterday when the Yankees scored 3 times. He was on base for Mark Teixeira's 2nd home run of the game.
Grounded to second. Gardner's down for the 2nd out as Ellsbury moves to 3rd. And that's going to bring up Carlos Beltran, who was 0 for 2 today. Fly ball to center and a soft ground ball to 2nd.
I was thinking that Joe Girardi watching Beltran today, obviously in this situation you love a clean base hit where he could just cruise the first base. But your biggest fear is probably that ground ball in the infield. You start thinking you might have a base hit.
Off the mound, nice hop for the shortstop Anderson, and that'll do it. So they survive the catcher's interference. No runs, no hits, 2 errors, and 1 man left. We're halfway through. It's 2-2. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day with family and friends. And whatever you do, try to be safe and enjoy the day. Hope you're enjoying it with us. We thank you for that. He's enjoying it. And the first pitch is a strike as Jose Abreu leads off the bottom of the 5th. Abreu's 0 for 2. Fly ball to right, reached on an error by Gregorius. Swing and a miss. Abreu down on strikes. He's 0 for 3 against CC.
And he's 7 strikeouts now for CC Sabathia. And as I look at my scorecard, all 7 of them have been swinging strike threes. That was a changeup and a good one. CC's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning.
Here's Todd Frazier. Frazier, a first-round draft pick by the Reds in 2007. 29 years old, from the Jersey Shore.
A lot of people enjoying the Jersey Shore today, I'm sure. Places like Ocean City, New Jersey.
He's an old soul because his walk-up music in Cincinnati and here in Chicago as well is Sinatra music. Line to left field. It's a base hit. It goes to the wall. Playing it out there is Gardner. And it's a 1-out double for Frazier. 3rd time he's on base. 2 walks, now a double.
Well, kind of has that all or nothing approach. You watch him standing in the box, it's almost like a slow pitch softball player just waiting for that one big swing. Gets that cutter down and in and is able to keep it fair to let's go with the top hand from the side. Big weight transfer. It's not going to produce a high batting average, but it produces plenty of power.
Here's Melky. Melky's 1 for 2. Fouled out to Ref Snyder at first, then single through the left side of the infield.
See Melky here in Chicago, and I think back to the day when he was with the Yankees and hit for the cycle right here at the cell, and the last hit was a triple. And I mean, he wasn't stopping at second, let's put it that way.
Two and one. Dribbled slowly, left side, fielded by CC, no play. Base hit for Cabrera as Frazier moves to third.
Well, let's go back and look at that cycle. There's the home run. That's a double. Just drops this one in there for a single, and the last one, banging left-handed. There it is. Not stopping at second. I don't know what he said, but he looked pretty happy.
Here's Brett Laurie. Had the bases loaded, one man out, and struck out in the third inning. Swings and misses. Last 10 games, he's been red hot. 18 for 41.
CC reaching back for a little extra here with a man on third and one out.
You think back to that last at bat for Lowry, and it was a fastball that CC threw right by him with 2 strikes. See what he goes here, 0-2.
Fly ball, right center. That'll get a run in. Ellsbury makes the catch. He'll throw to second. Scoring is Frazier. It's a sac fly for Laurie, and it's a 3-2 White Sox lead.
Yeah, I don't think CC's going to be real happy with his 0-2 pitch right here. Laurie takes advantage of it, a fly ball to center field. An 0-2 count, you'd expect a better pitch than this, up right down the middle.
Looked like McCann wanted it more in, and he left it out over the plate. Yeah, he's just as intense as he was when he struck out with the bases loaded.
Here's Navarro. Swing and a miss, and something flew out of his mouth as he swung and missed, and is picked up now by Garcia. Is that his mouthpiece?
No, I think he has one of those guards around his thumb.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a mouthpiece. Better wash that off. Little thumb guard.
Driven deep to left field. Going back Gardner. Track. Wall. See ya. A 2-run home run for Navarro. And it is 5-2 White Sox.
I don't think the location was where CC wanted it on Laurie, and certainly not on this pitch. Navarro ecstatic after hitting his 5th home run of the year and adding 2 more runs to the White Sox total. Let's see. McCann wants it inside again, and this one out over the plate once again.
See the front side of Navarro open up to cheat a little bit to get there. Now all of a sudden Sabathia's starting to give up some home runs like he did last year.
Coming into this game, he'd allowed 0.47 home runs per 9 innings, and giving up a 2-run shot to Anderson in the 3rd. Now this 2-run shot to Navarro in the 5th.
There's just some pitches or some counts where hitters will cheat a little bit, looking for a cutter in. Navarro got it.
First time this year that CC's allowed 2 home runs in a game. Count 1-2. And the 1-2 from CC. Grounded to second. Castro puts it away, but the damage has been done. 3 runs on 3 hits. A sac fly by Laurie, a 2-run shot by Navarro. At the end of 5, it's 5-2 White Sox. McDonald's, 2 more games here in Chicago. Both 8-10 starts, and the Yankees move on to Cleveland for a 4-game set. Thursday night, Friday night, and then Saturday on FS1 at 4:10, a 1:10 start on Yes on Sunday. Then 4 games off for the All-Star break, and then they start with 3 at the stadium against the Red Sox. Picks 11, Yes, and ESPN. Uncle Sam taking in the game as we go to the 6th inning. And James Shields deals up and away 1-0.
Well, looks like James Shields has turned it around. He won his last game against Minnesota, and you look up there, 2 runs, 4 hits, and the Yankees have been playing a little, or the White Sox a little shaky defensively behind him. A 3-run lead. I was just thinking about that. How about if you're the scout who recommended that the White Sox trade for James Shields, right? You're watching him for a while, and then he comes over. His first 4 games just gets beat up. Can't be a comfortable position for your job security.
Well, you know, you probably tossed in the fact it's only going to cost us $27 million.
That's it.
Yeah. We don't have to pick up the whole tab. That's. Hands had a couple of good swings today. Hit one to the warning track and then lined one through the shift in the right field for a hit. Had a home run in San Diego, had 2 hits and 6 at-bats out there.
High pop-up. Shallow right field. But Laurie puts it away. One down here in the 6th.
I was just watching with McCann up there and 2 strikes. I know he was leading off the inning, but the White Sox came as close to having 4 infielders on the right side as I've seen this year. Todd Frazier was almost behind second base. It seemed that it looks as though Shields is working quicker. Yeah, he's picked up the pace here.
One and 2 on Castro, who has a single and a double and a run scored today.
And he's ready to go.
Came into the season with a 127 and 97 career record. 3.74 ERA. Incredible numbers. Pitched a lot of his career in the American League East. 2-2. Fly ball into right center. That's going to be trouble. That is a base hit. One hop over the wall into the seats. It's a double for Castro.
The Yankees have 5 hits now, and Castro has 3 of them. Single and 2 doubles. This one's going to find the gap in right center, pitch towards the middle of the plate. And that's going to split the difference between Coates and Eaton. And eventually become a souvenir.
Here's Didi. He's 0 for 2. And he chops out one to second. Backing up Laurie, gets a good hop. For the second out as Castro moves to third. You would think that an 0 for against Shields would be a comfortable 0 for, where you'd go back to the hotel thinking, I should have done better.
You know, that last pitch is an example of that, Michael. It just, when Didi, it just had enough movement on it. It looked like the speed, hitting speed, but it had enough movement on it. He topped it and hit it to second.
Here's Headley. He's done the only damage today with a 2-run home run in the second. Yankees trail 5-2 in the top of the 6th inning. The accurate pitch count, he's at 90, 54 strikes and 36 balls. And 91 is a strike, 0-2.
You know, Michael, you mentioned it. It's a comfortable 0 for, but the changeup is still the best pitch in baseball. If you can master it and be able to sell it, make it look like a fastball, a little easier on your arm.
He's gotten the Yankees to beat it into the ground. 8 ground ball outs. Two and 2. Being very careful with Headley after that home run. Walked him to load the bases in the 4th inning. Took his chance with Hicks. Hicks on deck. Bounces that one. Navarro knocks it down.
Yeah, but the difference in this situation is if Headley does get on, by the base on balls or however he gets on, Hicks represents a tying run coming to the plate. And even though he's 0 for 2 today, it was a just miss situation in the 4th. Hit one off the end of the bat on a changeup.
So a walk issued to Headley. His second walk, and that brings up Hicks. And Cooper makes a trip to the mound. 1 week from tomorrow, David Ortiz, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, and all of baseball's superstars come together for the primetime event that will light up the summer. The MLB All-Star Game from San Diego. It's next Tuesday, July 12th at 7:30 Eastern, and it's only on Fox. You know, with the July 4th theme and a lot of red in the White Sox uniform, it makes me think of the White Sox uniform that Wilbur Wood used to wear and Dick Allen with the white pinstripes.
Jim Codge used to wear that uniform, yeah.
Cool looking uniform.
That was right across the street, which is now a parking lot. Dick Allen, the MVP in the American League back in the 70s. Carlton Fisk, Harold Baines. Harold Baines' numbers retired here in Chicago.
Harold Baines' number was retired when he was active.
Yeah.
Jerry Reinsdorf was so upset that they traded him that they retired his number. Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the White Sox. First and third, 2 outs, top of the 6th. It's 5-2 Chicago. 1-0. 2-0 to Hicks.
There's that familiar leg kick. Interesting story how the White Sox actually signed Harold Baines. It's with 2 outs. I'm not going to start it now because it's a little lengthy, but I'll get into it.
Three and 0. Albers and Duke up in the White Sox bullpen. So Shields 1 pitch away from loading the bases with 2 outs. There's a strike. 3-1 on Hicks.
Well, this would be an interesting pitch right here. Hicks looking for that fastball, and James Shields has made a great living on throwing changeups in this situation right here. Fastball.
That was the 25th pitch this inning. And Shields is at 100 for the game. Big crowd here at the Cell getting excited for this 3-2 pitch. Castro will stay put at third. Headley will go at first. Abreu playing behind him. 3-2, 2 outs, top of the 6th. 5-2 White Sox lead. Runner goes. Fly ball right field. Coates puts it away, and that'll do it. No runs hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 5-2 Sox. On the Yankees taking on the Orioles, it's cap night. That's right. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees cap courtesy of Cooper Tire. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. So Shields works out of trouble as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And Jason Coates will lead off against CC Sabathia. Strike.
Get back to that story about Harold Baines. Years ago, the owner of the Chicago White Sox was Bill Veeck, and he was on vacation on the eastern shore of Maryland, little town, St. Michael's, Maryland. That's Harold Baines' hometown. And he was riding around one day, speaking of Bill Veeck, and he saw a Little League game going on. Sure enough, he pulls up, watches the game for a while, and little Harold is just tearing things up. So when Bill Veeck got back to Chicago, he told the scouts, follow this guy. And sure enough, when the time came, Harold Baines, #1 draft pick of the Chicago White Sox.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Coates. So he saw Baines as a 12 or 13-year-old.
Well, 11 or 12, whatever. Wow. And he just said, told the scouts to just follow this kid.
Wow.
And I've been to St. Michael's, Maryland. It's a beautiful little town, Chesapeake Bay. Nice little main street, a lot of shops.
Tim Anderson takes low, 1-0.
It's one of those at bats. We'll see if CC Sabathia tries to find something out against Anderson. He jammed him his first at bat. Then a fastball out over the plate. He hammers it to center field. The Yankees got to find out if you can pitch him inside.
1-1.
Whenever I would see a hitter with an open stance, it would always tell me, you know what, I got to find out if he likes the ball in or if he's diving out away and closing up.
He's also way up in the box, John. He's nowhere near the back line of the batter's box. Most hitters want to get as long a look as possible, but his front foot is almost on the front line.
He's not looking much anyway. He's swinging.
8 strikeouts for CC, ties the season high.
Ooh.
He thought he had number 9 there, 2-2.
Hey, we want to know if it was low, and Milwaukee said yeah. Just a tad low.
Two. Broken back ground ball to Didi. Anderson's down for the second out.
Didi making a nice play there. You mentioned first time he's ever made 2 errors in a game, and it kind of reminded me of a story years ago. Remember Larry Boa? He was a Gold Glove shortstop with the Phillies. And when I was in Montreal, I played with the shortstop Tim Foley. He was a pretty good shortstop. And Boa used to tease him all the time. He came into town and said, "Do you have a brother, E. Foley?" Because every time I look at the paper, I see his name.
Eaton with a fly ball to deep left center. Long run for Ellsbury. He's going to play it off the base of the wall. So a double for Eaton, who had struck out 3 previous times against Sabathia.
Oh, how do you figure this? The guy looked lost against Sabathia. 3 at bats, struck out every time, and then drills one the other way, almost going opposite field for a home run. End up being a 2-out double.
Here's Jose Abreu, who's 0 for 3. Got hit by a pitch in the Houston game. He has a tattoo of his young son on his arm. And he was asked where the ball hit him. He said, right in my kid's face. 1-1.
Couple of nice scoops by McCann in this particular bat with Abreu. CC keeping the ball down. One was on the outer half, this one on the inner half. I don't know how catchers do it. I know you practice it, but special art of digging those balls out of the dirt.
Weak wave at that.
Looking off speed, and you get a fastball in. This is going to be your swing, if you can even call it that.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Abreu rips one foul. Missed outside, 3-2. Next pitch will be his 100th of the game. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss, got him. So that is a season-high 9 strikeouts for Sabathia. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left. We'll go to the 7th, 5-2 White Sox. USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. Thank you to all in the armed forces, and thank you to their families who sacrifice so much that the men and women of the armed forces can protect us and keep us safe and allow us to have days like this at a ballpark. 30,955 here at US Cellular. On the 4th of July. There's a strike to Refsnyder. They make the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by Verizon Fios. And that's a base hit. Over Frazier and down the left field line as Refsnyder will pick up a leadoff double against Matt Albers.
Well, Refsnyder was robbed of a hit last time. Nice play by Coates in right field, but not this time. This is beyond Frazier, down into the corner. Melky Cabrera has to dig it out. The Refsnyder's on with a leadoff two-base hit. Like a splitter.
The splitter had some movement down and in. Some bad luck for Albers as it gets out of the reach of Frazier.
So Albers faces one batter, gives up a double. Now they will bring on the lefty Zach Duke with a couple of lefties due up for the Yanks. Healthcare, and the White Sox certainly have a lot on the DL. Austin Jackson, a knee injury. Justin Morneau, elbow injury, and he should be back after the All-Star game. And that should provide them with some veteran leadership. Matt Davidson, 15-day deal with a foot injury. Zach Putnam, an elbow injury. Jake Petrichka, out for the season with hip surgery. And Daniel Webb, out for the season with Tommy John surgery. So 6 on the shelf on the White Sox injury report. So Matt Albers faces Refsnyder, gives up a double. Now Zach Duke, one of 2 lefties in the bullpen for the White Sox, will face Jacoby Ellsbury and then Brett Gardner. We're in the 7th inning. It's 5-2. White Sox lead the Yankees' first game of this 3-game set on the 4th of July. Good numbers for Duke. 41 games now. 2-0, 3.08. 30 strikeouts in 26 and a third innings pitched. That one is looped into left field, and it is caught by Melky for the first out. That's a good play by Melky Cabrera, taking a hit away from Ellsbury.
Yeah, we saw Coates in right make one, and now Melky Cabrera showing off his stuff in left field. Head first dive, and he comes up with it. He was still on his feet when he caught it. He left his feet after he made the catch. Applaud from Duke.
Here's Brett Gardner against the lefty Duke. And a strike.
Well, you look at the numbers for Duke, and lefties are hitting .296 against him, although they're only hitting .215 since 2014. But he's getting beat up by lefties this year, and righties only hitting .182.
Oh, 2. Looks like he'd be tough when he does that to a left-hander. Yankees today 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Strike 3. Gardner down looking.
So Duke has done his job. Here's a little look at what Flash is talking about. That after all the breaking balls, he goes to the fastball and hits the corner. Kind of crossfire to the lefties. He stands way on the first base side of the rubber to give him even more of an angle. Now he's got a switch hitter to deal with in Carlos Beltran.
On deck, another lefty batter, Brian McCann. Foul back and out of play. Carlos is 0 for 3 today with a fly ball to center, ground ball to second and short. Still 0-2.
Well, Beltran has reached many milestones in his career. He's got another one coming up pretty soon here. 4 more runs batted in for 1,500. Nice round number.
Swing and a miss, got him. Strong performance by Duke as a runner is stranded at second. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base at the end of 6.5 innings of play. White Sox lead the Yankees by a score of 5-2, but we stay right where we are, and today means more than ever before as we will enjoy the playing of God Bless America.
Today, in celebration of Independence Day, the singing of God Bless America is being performed in support of our country and our men and women stationed overseas. Please welcome back the lead singer of REO Speedwagon, Kevin Cronin, for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America. Thanks, everybody.
a new pitcher for the Yankees as CC goes 6. The GMC scoreboard shows you the White Sox with a 5-2 lead. The new pitcher for the Yankees will be the right-hander Luis Cessa.
Well, we last saw Cessa Wednesday against Texas. 1 earned run in 3 innings. Picked up his first major league win. He was impressive that night.
The one thing that you worry about him when you look at his numbers, he has allowed a few too many home runs in the early going. And the American League home run leader, Todd Frazier, leads off here in the 7th. Low, 1-0.
Well, we saw the other half of that trade that brought Cessa to the Yankees. Chad Green yesterday, he was brilliant in San Diego. 8 strikeouts, no walks. Picked up his first major league win.
Hammered to left field. It's a base hit. It'll go to the wall. Playing it out there is Gardner, and Frazier has his 2nd double. So a big day for Frazier. 2 walks and 2 doubles.
He is the quintessential pull hitter. He's looking to pull the ball. He is very quick on anything on the inner third. Quick hands. You like to have your third baseman quick hands on defense, but also at the plate. 2nd time Gardner's had to pull the ball out of the corner on a Frazier double.
So Frazier's at 2nd. Here's Melky Cabrera, who spins around to the left side. Switch hitter against the righty Cessa. And a strike. See the 4 home runs in 11 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks.
.96 miles an hour for Cessa.
Looped into left center. And a nice play by Ellsbury as Frazier stays put at 2nd. So Ellsbury takes a hit away from Cabrera, and we go back to the studio for Bob Lorenz. Thank you, Bob. And those 4 games came in the hands of the Mets that made the best team in baseball look awfully ordinary over the weekend at Citi Field. Here's the play by Ellsbury.
We'll take a look at this one on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Looked like Ellsbury might have been fooled a bit when the ball was hit, but he had the speed to recover. Did I hear Bob say that Chris Bryant has 8 home runs against Cincinnati?
I believe that's what he said.
8 of the 24 that he's hit.
A 1-0. There's a strike. 1-1 on Laurie. Laurie started with the Blue Jays. Oakland. Here he is in Chicago. Line drive left field, it's a base hit. Frazier rounds 3rd, he's coming home. The throw from Gardner is up the line. Throw to first. And Laurie gets back. It's an RBI single for Laurie, and it's a 6-2 Sox lead.
Looked like another changeup from Sessa. It was just up and in. Brett Gardner with an accurate, strong throw. Frazier will score. Brian McCann goes to first base. Refsnyder's got to be back towards the bag. He was too far up.
Yep.
Laurie was able to get back. Good look at it right here. See how far away from first base Refsnyder was, and he had to dive back a little too late.
You get the feeling if he was on the bag, they would have had plenty of time to get Brett Laurie.
So Laurie's on first, his second RBI of the game. He has 34 on the season. And that brings up Navarro at a home run against Sabathia his last time up. One and 0.
Well, this is what Joe Girardi's been battling a little bit with some of his long relievers, middle relievers. Last time out, Sessa looked lights out. Comes in this afternoon, a couple of balls that have been hit hard.
And when Nathan Eovaldi now working out of the bullpen, I think he's an option when the Yankees have the lead. Trying to get to the big three out of the bullpen when they're available.
Now, 2 of the big 3 not available today. So tomorrow, when they would be available, if they don't use Eovaldi today, Eovaldi could play the role of the pitcher that they have not been able to find this year. That setup guy into the big 3, the bridge guy, if the starter only goes 5 1/3.
That was supposed to have been Brian Mitchell, who was injured in spring training.
Or maybe a Rumble or a Pinder, and they're all out for the season. Tomorrow, the starting pitchers. Tanaka gets the start for the Yankees, 5-2, 3.35. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. on Yes. The starting pitcher is brought to you by Fios. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Visit getfios.com. Runner goes, throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Laurie.
McCann had to make up a lot of time. It looked like Laurie had a good jump. Didi's signaling to the dugout. You better check this one.
Don't know if it got him. So it'd be hard to challenge because you have to have irrefutable proof there. Couldn't overturn that one. The Yankees are not challenging.
Looked like he was safe.
As you can see, Sessa throws hard, 96 miles an hour. And Navarro walks. And Larry Rothschild out to the mound to talk with his young right-hander. This chiropractic telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So Rothschild has his say, trying to settle down the youngster. As the White Sox have runners on first and second, 1 man out, and a 6-2 lead in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's Garcia. He's 0 for 3 today. Foul back to the screen, 0-1. Along with Ken Singleton, John Flaherty, and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay. And we thank you for spending part of your July 4th with us here on Yes. Bottom of the 7th inning, 6-2. The White Sox lead the Yankees and threatening, looking for more. (0-2).
I wonder if that conversation from Larry Rothschild was use your fastball a little bit more back to back. Both of them at 96 miles an hour. Sessa's been going a little more off speed in this outing than we've seen him in the past.
The 1-2. Grounded up the middle. There's one. And there's two as Castro turns the 4-4-3 double play. But the White Sox get a run on 2 hits with 1 man left. Let's go to the 8th. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Desmond Jennings placed on the 15-day DL with a strained hamstring. Trevor Plouffe placed on that same DL with cracked rib. And Jonathan Papelbon activated from the 15-day DL with an intercostal strain. New pitcher. No, it's not still Zach Duke. And leading off is Brian McCann. Hyundai scoreboard, 6-2 White Sox. And there's the strike.
Not so much of a shift this time with McCann facing a left-hander. You feel he's more apt to go the other way.
Drills that one to right field. It is a foul ball. McCann's 1 for 3 today.
talking to McCann before the game about Chad Green's performance yesterday. He said he was electric. His fastball was crackling. He said he had a cutter. And I also asked him if he had caught Green in Arizona. He said he didn't catch him that day. But the cutter was a new wrinkle, so to speak, and it was a good one. He just said he had excellent fastball command yesterday. Put it where he wanted to.
You know what, Kenny? It looked like a delivery too that's nice and easy, and then the ball just jumps out of his hand. Almost to the point when the radar gun said 95, it surprised me watching because it didn't look like he was putting that much effort into it.
He hit a couple 97s yesterday.
Really?
Yep.
Grounded to second, bobble, and an E4 on Brett Laurie.
It's been kind of a sloppy afternoon for both clubs defensively. This is the third error on the White Sox. The Yankees have made 2. All around the glove and then out of it. It looks like we're going to get a new pitcher.
Robin Ventura takes the walk to the mound with Castro due up. Ventura's going to bring in a righty. Amazingly, we've seen 5 errors in this game, but no unearned runs. We'll be back. The entire Yankee season on Yes. There are other TV providers that carry Yes, including DirecTV, Frontier, PlayStation, Vue, Fios, and Sling TV. Don't miss any Yankees games on Yes. For more information, go to keepyesnetwork.com. New pitcher is Nate Jones, right-hander against the righty Castro, who has 3 hits and 3 at-bats today. Yankees trying to come back from a 4-run deficit. Jones deals low and away, 1-0.
Yeah, kind of an unusual delivery for Nate Jones as he separates the ball out of his glove. He kind of holds it there for a second and then fires at the home plate. Those are the numbers on Nate Jones.
Line in the left center field. It's a base hit, 4th base hit of the afternoon for Castro. As McCann stops at second and Castro picks up a single. So 2 singles and 2 doubles for the Yankee second baseman, who was 0 for 11 in San Diego.
We're talking about Nate Jones's delivery. A little bit of a delay before he fires the ball. Pulls it up.
Yeah, there's always a saying with pitchers, get the ball out of your glove as quickly as possible, and that's kind of taking it to another level right there for Jones.
So here's Didi, who is 0 for 3 today. First and second for the Yankees, nobody out in the 8th. Jones deals. Strike. John, isn't it better for a batter to see the ball like that rather than have it come out of nowhere?
Well, you know what? It all depends on his glove and his front side. If he stays closed, you're not going to be able to see the baseball. If it's open, maybe, or the glove's a little bit lower, you might get a good look at it. Take a look at his glove side and how he hides the baseball with his glove and his front side and then delivers.
Swing and a miss as Gregorius goes down on strikes, 1 away.
Well, Didi having one of those games where you want to forget about a couple errors and hasn't looked great at the plate. Actually hit the ball well his first at bat. Good slider right there from Jones. Down and in, Didi right over the top.
Here's Headley. He's the Yankee offense today with a 2-run home run. He swings and misses. Incidentally, the single by Castro gave him a 4-hit game. It's the Yankees' first 4-hit game since April 16th when Beltran did it against Seattle.
It's his kind of town.
The 0-1.
99 for Nate Jones. I think he's just showing it to you and say, see if you can hit this.
Yeah.
Yankees 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position today. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Overpowered Headley. 2 away.
Headley shaking his head as he heads back to the dugout. A little bit of run on that fastball as well. Not only 97 miles an hour, but moving away from Headley. Moving away from a left-handed hitter. So double the trouble there. The velocity and the movement.
Here's Aaron Hicks. Coming out on deck to pinch hit for Refsnyder is Mark Teixeira. The last 4 at-bats the Yankees have had with men in scoring position, all strikeouts. One and one. James Shields started, then Albers, Duke, and now Nate Jones. Hicks is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout and 2 fly balls to right. One and 2 on the slider. Skied the other way and out of play. As the day has moved on, some blue skies above, interspersed with clouds. Sun coming through every now and then. Heavy cloud cover at the beginning of the game. The lights have been on since the start. Next 2 days here are supposed to be broiling hot. Chicago's summer days.
Navarro was the one who called time, maybe not quite on the same page as Nate Jones with the signals.
The 1-2. Foul back to the screen, still 1 and 2. McCann opened the game, or opened this inning, by reaching on an error by Brett Laurie at second. Then Castro picked up his 4th hit. First and second, nobody out. But a strikeout of Gregorius, a strikeout of Headley. And a 1-2 count now on Aaron Hicks. Stays alive. Check the swing.
That pitch was designed. We saw Mariano do that a lot. Get ahead of hitters, throw one up here, and they start for it, and they can't check their swing in time. Hicks was able to hold on.
Hicks really battling. So this will be the 9th pitch by Nate Jones. He's had 4 2-strike fouls by Hicks. First and second, 2 outs, top of the 8th, 6-2 White Sox. Nate Jones deals. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out 3. Yankees left 9 runners on base. They've been unable to get a hit with men in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-2 Chicago. Game 2 of this 3-game set. Coverage will start at 7 with Audi batting practice today, and then the Chevy pregame, followed by all the action right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. The city with broad shoulders, the second city, Chicago. Jason Coates leads off the bottom of the 8th. Swing and a miss against Sessa. Yankees have been unable to get the big hit in this game, leaving runners on base. 9, in fact. Not getting any hits with men in scoring position. Hyundai scoreboard 6-2 White Sox. The 0-2. 1-2. Now, the Yankees are 0 for 12 with men in scoring position. That would match their worst game this year. Remember, they went 0 for 12 with men in scoring position in consecutive games against Seattle, April 15th and 16th. One-two. Coach fouls it away.
Well, if you're a White Sox fan, you're probably saying, well, that's some clutch pitching. If you're a Yankees fan, you're probably saying that's not clutch hitting.
Now at 6-2, this is a rare game for the White Sox because 44 of their 82 games have either been decided by 1 or 2 runs. Fly ball, right center, backing up Hicks on the track. He makes the play to retire Coates.
What Coates is having one of those games you're going to remember. A base hit his first at bat, a nice play in right field, and hammering this ball to right center. Thought maybe with the way the ball was carrying to the middle of the field, it might have had a chance.
Yeah. Hicks reaching out to see exactly where he is. A little bit more room than he thought. A little bit more than a step to go before reaching the wall.
A strike to Anderson. Anderson is 2 for 3. Should be really 2 for 4, but was credited with a sacrifice when he was bunting for a hit. Infield single and a 2-run home run. The 0-1. Grounded foul. David Robertson, former Yankee, warming up alongside Dan Jennings. 4 runs is not a save situation. The 0-2.
Anderson just 23 years old. First ever appearance against the Yankees, and he's 2 for 4 with a home run.
One and 2 on Anderson. White Sox have won 5 of 7, 6 of 9, 9 of 13. They've won the last 4 series. We told you all those 1-run games. They have 28 1-run games, and that leads the American League. And they're 14 and 14 in those games. And they're 10 and 6 in 2-run games. So that puts a lot of pressure on the bullpen and on the manager.
Yeah, there's 7.5 games behind Cleveland in the Central Division.
And Cleveland was unconscious for 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. Cleveland with a 5.5 game lead on the division. Second place Detroit Tigers.
Ground ball is short. And he's safe. That's going to be a 3-error day on Gregorius. Well, that's his first ever 3-error day as he boots another one.
One of those days you just want to forget if you're a major league player. 0 for 4 at the plate, 3 errors in the field. Didi's has been so good, and been everybody talking, you know, the possibility of being an all-star. That's how well he has played this year, but having a tough afternoon.
The delay is as the Yankees decide whether or not to challenge.
Yeah, I think it was safe. thing about it is there's certain infields that, I've talked to some pretty good infielders over there. There's just certain places they don't like playing. I think that Derek Jeter used to say he didn't like Boston. Take another look. Maybe closer than I thought.
See, I'll tell you what. This has to change with this replay system. There's too much delay as you look at reams and reams of video in order to decide whether or not you're even going to challenge. That has to change. They might have been able to overturn this, but they decided not to. And I don't blame the team for trying to get every angle. But there's got to be a clock on it. All right, you got 5 seconds to decide whether or not you're going to challenge. The umpire did it in real time. If you think he's wrong, challenge in real time.
Well, the thing about it, when they're reviewing the plays back in New York, they go through both home and a road telecast. Get the best angle of the play.
And that's fine, Kay, but I'm saying before you even decide to challenge, we're waiting for Joe Girardi or Robin Ventura to look back at his bench coach to get the signal whether or not they see something. And there's the bunt. Eaton's been trying to do that all day. As Cessa falls, it's a bunt single for Eaton.
Let's hope that Cessa's all right, because he did the splits while throwing that ball over the first base. Adam Eaton, man, this guy can fly. And Anderson in front of him, you just saw his speed as well.
This could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, that's an accurate throw when you slide down, fall down, and still make a good throw to first. That could have went down the right field line very easily, and that's what Kenny's talking about. Perfect bunt, plenty of speed for Eaton. Nice play for Cessa just to make an accurate throw.
Well, it's been this sort of day for the Yankees. 3 infield hits for the White Sox against them, 3 infield grounders resulting in errors. So 6 base runners without the ball leaving the infield. Here's Jose Abreu. Now the last 3-error game for a Yankee, Shane Green did it in July of 2014.
A pitcher.
Two 2-0 on Abreu. Yankees trying to keep it right here at 6-2. Count 2-1 now. 6-2 White Sox lead the Yanks. First game of this 3-game set in Chicago.
This whole at bat, it looks like they've tried to keep the ball in on Abreu, who, we mentioned, hits the ball well the other way. In fact, Ellsbury's playing him towards right center, a couple of steps that way. Maybe Abreu's not having the best year, but he's got 49 runs batted in. Not as good as some of the years he's had in the past.
Broken bat pop-up, shallow left. Dunks in between Gregorius and Gardner. Runners coming home. Here's the throw. He's safe. Great base running by Anderson. Read the ball beautifully off the bat. He scores on the single, and it's 7-2 White Sox.
You know, Michael, you're 100% right. There are a lot of young kids that come up to the big leagues, and they have all the ability, but do they know how to play the game? And you watch Anderson get that read, and gets an early read, and is going to be able to score pretty easily. So not only does he have the athletic ability, he's got some baseball instincts. Turns around, reads it, finds it, it's going to find some grass, scores easily.
He was running pretty well, wasn't he? Good speed. Tim Anderson.
First rounder, 2013, out of East Central Community College in Mississippi. So Larry Rothschild with another trip, as this is Sessa's 8th inning. There's nobody up in the Yankee bullpen, as the White Sox lead this one 7-2. And that'll bring up Todd Frazier. Frazier's walked twice, doubled twice, scored twice. Foul back. Frazier has not done well in these situations with runners on base, just a 158 hitter. Hitting .209 overall. 23 homers, 51 ribbies. 0-2. Now the Yankees get someone up in the bullpen. It's a left-hander. Richard Blyer.
As Sessa's pitch count is getting up there. It's
One-two. Line drive, a base hit to left field. It's probably going to score Eaton, and it does. So Eaton scores easily on the RBI single by Frazier, who is 3 for 3. And the White Sox are pouring it on. 8-2.
walked twice, 2 doubles, and now a single for Todd Frazier.
The White Sox taking advantage. That error by Didi Gregorius should have been 2 easy outs here for Sessa. Sessa not able to pick him up after that error.
Here's Melky Cabrera. Runners on first and second, still 1 out. After getting Coates to fly to right, deep right, Anderson reaches on the E6. Then a bunt single by Eaton. And then Abreu with a blooper into left field. But Todd Frazier, a legitimate hard hit RBI single to left. .42 pitches for Sessa and 2 innings of work. Well, 2 1 1/3.
It's going to be a few days before he's able to pitch again.
Swing and a miss. Oh, with the availability tomorrow of Miller and Betances along with Chapman, then you can use Eovaldi as a longer man tomorrow. Eovaldi's out there today to take the role of the bridge to Chapman, but so far hasn't had to be used. The 1-2. Fly ball in the left center. Long run for Gardner. He'll make the play as the runners retreat. So here's Brett Lawrie. Sac fly and an RBI single. Fly to right and struck out. So he is 1 for 3. And a strike from Sessa.
Yeah, only White Sox now with 13 hits, only one starter does not have a hit. Avisail Garcia, 0 for 4.
And with a 6-run lead, the White Sox sat David Robertson down. So Jennings is the only one throwing. With a 4-run lead, they probably would have brought in Robertson, despite it not being a save situation. So there's Jennings. High fly ball, right field. Hicks is there and puts it away. But the White Sox scored 2 more runs, 3 hits, 1 big error, and 2 men left. We go to the 9th.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. When you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today? That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
On this date, 1939, Lou Gehrig delivers one of the biggest, most memorable speeches of all time, not just sports, just an amazing, amazing speech by Lou Gehrig. And it was referenced on Mickey Mantle Day by Mickey Mantle, who said, "I sometimes wonder how a man who knew he was dying could say he was the luckiest man on the face of the earth." He said, "But now I know." And just an amazingly moving speech by Lou Dan Jennings has come on for the White Sox. An 0-1 count on Refsnyder. There's a ground ball to first. Knocked down by Abreu. Fires to Jennings. Not in time. So Refsnyder reaches. We'll see how that scored.
Marvin Hudson, the first base umpire, I think he motioned that Jennings missed the bag at first base. If he did get it, it was by a shoelace. Knocked down by Abreu. The throw is accurate. And from this angle, it's hard to tell whether he actually touches the bag or not. You can see it's not really cleanly. The White Sox are determining whether they want to challenge this.
Well, the holdup is, as we just spoke about before, Ventura is waiting for his video guy to tell him challenge or not. They decided not to challenge.
And you know what? He reached for it a second time with the right foot. It might have gotten it with the right foot the second attempt.
So that scored an infield single for Refsnyder. He's 2 for 4 today. And here's Ellsbury. So the Yankees will try to come back from a 6-run deficit. One and one on Ellsbury. Fly ball center field. Eaton is there. One away. Well, fans, don't miss the WB Mason postgame on Yes. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry are in the studio with highlights, analysis, and reaction from today's game. Plus, Meredith Moragovitz has the clubhouse report. It's all coming up immediately following the game, only on Yes. So here's Brett Gardner. Brett is 0 for 4 today. He was 3 for 13 in San Diego. 1-0.
Yeah, usually the offensive formula for the Yankees is Ellsbury and Gardner get going. Neither one has really reached base, except with the exception of Ellsbury reaching on an error, catcher's interference.
Left-handed hitters, 8 for 38 against Jennings. That's .210. White Sox carry 7 relievers, 5 righties, and 2 lefties. Yankees have now seen both lefties, Zach Duke and Jennings. See some hear some explosions in the background as fireworks early here in Chicago on July 4th, beyond the left field grandstand. Some fireworks going off. Two and two. They are not holding Refsnyder on at first. He could take second whenever he'd like, choosing to stay put. I've asked several managers, why don't you just automatically go all the time? They said every now and then the batter's going to swing at a line drive and then you're going to get doubled off at first base. So you fear that. But with 2 outs, you definitely go. Three-two. Strike 3. Gardner down looking. Brett 0 for 5. So as Kenny said, the table setters up top just didn't do the job for the Yankees today.
Take a look at the final pitch from Jennings. Right to Navarro's glove. Knee high, outside corner. Call strike 3. Milwaukee rings him up.
So here's Carlos Beltran. He is 0 for 4 today. Runner goes, and there's a base hit just off the glove of a diving Anderson. Refsnyder will move to third. That is the first hit of the day for the Yankees' top 3 hitters in the order. They've been 0 for 13 before that.
Well, good last at bat for Beltran here, and you like the fact that he was able to stay in this game. It tells you the hamstring, not much of an issue today.
And here's Brian McCann. He's 1 for 4. Oh, strike. Not too much arguing about any of the calls from the crew chief, Bill Welke, behind the plate. 0-2. Yankees down to their final strike. Many in the crowd of 30,955 standing. And the 0-2. Strike 3. Ball game's over. And the Yankees lose this one 8-2. The Yankees couldn't get a hit with a runner on base. In fact, they were 0 for 13 with men in scoring position, and the White Sox did enough damage to win this one by a score of 8-2. We'll come back. Yankees lose the first game of this 3-game set. Stay where you are on Yes.